Hi everyone! So we're now week 7, starting this week. I can't believe how quickly it's going, and it's at such a pace. I think we're all struggling to believe just how much time has passed already, and it won't be long until we're up at the Housing Summit in September, so we're all acutely aware of that fast approaching. So just to update you on what we did last week, I wasn't in, I was quite unwell, so unfortunately I've missed all week. I've come back today just to kind of catch up with the team and find out just how much I've missed. But ultimately what the guys were doing last week was really honing in on the idea that we talked to you about in the last vlog, and preparing for the steering group meeting. It was our first steering group meeting with our CEOs and our directors to update them on our progress and let them know kind of how far we'd got in the project. So as I wasn't here, I'm going to let the other guys tell you a little bit more about what they did.
Yeah, and so we've been further developing our ideas and thinking through on our assumptions, and with that, many of you might have seen an experiment that we did last week around, we developed a website and then we sent it out to a number of people in housing associations with a whole series of questions for employers, but also questions for staff to really gauge their response and to understand the experiment and what it would mean for people in their organisations. We also have done a whole series of research looking at different models and how they work in the UK, but also looking at different approaches internationally to help us see how our idea could be developed even further.
And so then what we did is, taking that research, we put it into our business model canvas, which is a business tool you can use to actually look at any particular business idea, whether it's a service, whether it's a product. And it basically gets you to structure the whole idea and think it through, right through from exactly who are your customers or service user, how you're actually going to deliver that service, what it looks like, how you're going to maintain the service, and all those different aspects. And then from that it starts to get you thinking about the funding, the cost structure, everything else that we need to think about before we actually take the idea through to a pilot, which is what we're ultimately aiming at. So this is what we put together for the idea that the website was talking about, and this has really enabled us to sort of fine-tune a bit more about the detail and obviously identify more areas to experiment and research. Also, part of this is the value proposition canvas, and this is where, having thought about the actual business model, you then think about the actual experience from the customer's point of view again. So you're trying to look at what are you trying to help the customer with, and you look at it in terms of what are their pain that you may be helping to alleviate by your product or service, or what gains in terms of advantages and benefits will your service, your product give to those customers. So the two together really make you pull the idea apart and analyse it, so that effectively you can then look at all those components and make it a stronger proposition.
Hi guys, so just a little bit about Friday. On Friday we hosted our steering group meeting. It was the first one. We invited our CEOs, so we had Ian from Oldwick, we had Laura from Rooftop, we had Chan from EMH, we had Paul from CBH, Cheltenham Borough Homes, we had Sarah from NatFed, sorry, we had Karen from Big Society Capital, and of course Bethan and James, and we also had Martin from WM Housing, who is actually the Halting Homelessness sponsor. We took them through our journey from start to finish. We showed them the greenhouse video, we showed them the video that Tommy had amazingly produced. It was a 10-minute video about our journey from week 1 all the way through to week 5. We then went through our ideas from 3 down to 1, and actually came out with 2. So we went in with a real strong, this is what our idea is, but actually the feedback around the table made us think about, actually we may have disregarded our plan B was actually quite strong. So we came out of Friday slightly tired, slightly a bit confused, but with 2 ideas back on the table. So we're going to go into the next week now and decide what we're going to do from there.